Well, I think he's largely codependent anyway. So somebody acknowledge my existence, please.
Welcome to the Story Tinker podcast, a place for in-depth analysis of stories, mainly from Webtoon. Co-hosted by sharp, witty, and dare I say, thirsty fans, we dive deep in every episode, analyzing character struggles, relationship development, and of course, theories. We also interview people working in creative industries. You can follow The Story Tinker on YouTube, podcast platforms, and social media. For bonus content, sneak peeks, and more, you can support The Story Tinker on Patreon. We're really appreciative of your likes, subscribes, follows, comments, and ratings on all platforms. Thanks for listening to The Story Tinker, and let's get started. We discovered that the cuddle puddle was caused by a ghost scare. Also, that Quincy uses 1 million skincare products. 𝗵𝗶𝗆's resolution not to talk to Tora is shot, given that they literally slept together in their underwear. More footage has been released, and we learned that Scharch and Gil are behind it, and that Gil, unsurprisingly, has nefarious plans up his sleeve.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 98 of Midnight Poppyland. And today we have Laura and Haley and a new guest, Vanessa. And hi.
Hi.
Good
to see everyone again. This is my bestie, Vanessa.
Hey.
My IRL bestie.
Yep. Coming to you from Indiana, in the Midwest.
Hey.
Yeah.
We don't say that.
Excited to be a part of a podcast. I've never been on a podcast. The first comic I'm ever reading on an app, and it's pretty exciting. So I'm a therapist by trade, and happy to read this with you all.
Awesome. Yeah, and we're definitely looking forward. You said earlier that you have like experience with gangs and working with interaction. So we're definitely excited to hear if you have any insights on that end.
Yeah. Yep. Happy to lend some insight into all the characters, not just Tora, although he's the most fun and complicated.
Yep. It's like, oh, we got our hands on him.
He's also the most sexy.
I know,
Damn it.
and he's nice to look at. So you just want to think about him a lot. Yeah.
That's how I first got you hooked. I was like, look at this picture of Tora. It was like episode 1 or 2 where Tora gets the text from Goliath, like, help, and he's putting his hair up, and he's got the cigarette, and it's got like 1 button done, and he's like, damn it. And I'm like, check this out. And she's like, oh, okay, I will.
Okay, I'm in. Oops.
Yeah, it didn't work when I tried it with my friends. They were like, why doesn't he have any pupils? He looks weird.
Oh, come on.
Like, and that's all you can say, really?
What about the abs for days?
The V, it's a very distinct V.
Oh yes, the hip dip.
Yeah.
Oh. And those tattoos. Okay, come on.
All right.
Wow, the thirst is starting early today.
We didn't even start the first panel.
Well, we start this episode and everyone's shirtless and laying all over each other. So
darn.
Exactly.
Darn it.
Yep. So Haley, you can.
Oh, that's my cue. Okay,
hear
cool.
the goods right away.
We see Tora and Quincy kind of cuddling, and Quincy looks like a train wreck. It says fell asleep only about an hour ago, and he probably is used to having his beauty sleep, and this is very much disruptive to him. And Tora seems very calm and for once, and he's usually not used to sleeping in an unfamiliar place, I would think, but he seems very comfortable with his brother and his girl there, so that's pretty cool to see him relaxed. He's slept like a fucking baby.
We can hope that maybe that's why he's comfortable, because his best buds are around him.
Yeah, and I also
go ahead, Laura. Sorry. Oh, maybe because it's also a clan neutral town that he feels like he can relax.
Totally. And I was thinking also, like, it's been a really emotional weekend for him. He just bought this house. He was scrambling, trying to get everything ready so that just in case Poppy wanted to come in, he would be ready for her.
With Poppy, with everything she just went through in her apartment, and he has all this preoccupation of like, is she safe? I can't get a hold of her. Okay, I got her. Now I'm not with her. Is she safe again? And it's just this constant back and forth. So he's probably just super exhausted.
Yeah,
They all are,
mentally
really.
and physically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Haley, relative to what you were saying, relating to what you were saying before, he does move apartments a lot. If you remember Quincy saying that at some point, so he probably does have experience living in new places fairly often.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. And well, Poppy looks a little shocked, disturbed.
Gorgeous.
Yes, I was just gonna say, gosh, beautiful. And she's
Where's the
thinking,
makeup smudge under the eyes? This is every morning I wake up. If I have worn makeup the day before, even if I wore makeup 2 days ago, there's always smudges under my eyes when I wake up.
it's
Somehow,
cute.
you never see this in movies. It just doesn't happen.
No, she's looking lovely, and she says, "Okay, it's all coming back to me now." And we're fading into a flashback. Yesterday was my first night here, and we had our takeaway dinner in relative silence. And after a quick bath in the creaky old bathhouse, I escaped back to my room. And they're all kind of sitting there at dinner, probably very awkwardly.
Yep.
And the house itself is really cool. It's very Japanese style. They're sitting on the floor. I did spend some time in Japan when I was 18, and that's really what they do. They sit on the floor. There was not a lot of, it's like a kitchen table with chairs, but yep, host family all sat around the table on the floor on cushions, and that was how you did it. So, but anyway, they're
compound. I would love, it seems so relaxing to have all that greenery around you.
yeah, that's very simplistic too, like not so much clutter. So anywho, looking at an outside shot of the house, everything's dark. Poppy says, "No contact day one, stay strong, Pops." I was talking to Vanessa about this before we got on with you. Poppy's really showing her age there. She's 21. She's like, "I'm gonna not talk to him for this many days." And Vanessa brought up they just had this big conversation after the break-in about, you know, he blew up at her, she blew up at him, and they had a really good conversation about communication. And here she is taking like 2 steps back again. So,
and even so far as to like bring a planner into it and like mark off days so she can make sure she's staying on track.
Yeah, don't talk to Tora for that. And like, how
Day
many
1.
how many days did she decide?
Was it
A month.
20?
She said a month, I think.
Yeah.
A month?
Which is insane.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen, but okay.
So I think, you know, I know like some other people were like talking exactly that it's like bad communication, but I think that for her, this is her way of retaining control. She is like just being dragged along and buffeted along in a situation that is out of her control. She's feeling very scared, very anxious. And I think this is her way of saying this is one thing she can do that is taking control of her life. So I think that's, besides for being mad at him, obviously, I think that it's also maybe reassuring for her to feel like she has control over something.
Yeah, that's a good point. So scrolling along, she's looking at her calendar again, and she said, "But I really wanted to tell him that." And she kind of looks up and sees someone creeping around in the hall, and she said instantly thinks Tora, which you know, maybe she hoped it was him.
Yes, I think she has conflicting feelings, you know, like she is mad at him, but she still wants to tell him something. Which, what do you think she wants to tell him?
Well, I mean, I'm sure she just has a jumble of emotions. I mean, he's protected her through a lot of things, and she probably just wants to say, you know, I'm scared, I feel safe with you, I feel safe being here, but she's all at the same time, you know, upset at the whole situation and has had her whole life uprooted. So, you know, she still cares about him, obviously, and she knows he'll protect her, but she's just not maybe ready to extend the olive branch yet. So.
I wonder if she was thinking about what she said back at her house in Moonbright when she was like, "Are you in the mafia?" And he said yes, and she said, "Me too." I wonder if she wanted to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yo, wish she would.
I know.
Yeah, come on now. I'd just like to point out too that her jammies keep getting sexier and sexier.
Yeah, more midriff happening more often. I've noticed in the episodes as they
must be a total coincidence, not because she's, you know, with Tora in the house.
Well, I love how they all matched too. The last episode, Quincy was wearing the green shorts, and Tora and Poppy had the green shirts on. I'm like, That's interesting. I don't know. But she's startled and there's someone lurking. And she says, wait a minute. Tora doesn't lurk. Looking pretty annoyed. She gets up, wraps a blankie around her. What is it, Quincy? And he tumbles in like a big doofus. He says, ooh. It's like, it's obviously Quincy's very attractive, but you can't take him seriously enough to like, he's just a dork.
Very childish. Very childish.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of the comic relief, but
true.
Speaking of being attractive, he's like completely comfortable being in like boxers and
tiny little shorts.
Yeah.
He's very comfortable with his body.
Absolutely. Oh, if my body looked like that, man.
I know, right?
He says, oh, Pops, thank God you're still awake. Drama queen, of course. If it's not too much trouble, could I perhaps bunk with you tonight? Super formal. Oh, Quincy was. Mindy likes Quincy a lot.
Yes, he's my favorite way ever. He's such a cutie pie. I love like over the top dramatic characters, and he's blonde, which is my favorite hair color. And yeah, he's just so cute. I love him, and he's a good boy. He's really good, which is also so sweet. Anyway, I could really rave about Quincy forever, but you know that would take the whole podcast. So
there's more facets to him that we haven't seen yet.
True.
I like when he gets real, because it's hard to take him seriously a lot of times where you're just like, and I think that's the point. But anyway, he's looking like all stressed out. I think this place is haunted. I think that's where you pick up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Poppy's like, huh?
One more thing to worry about.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And she's so now she's looking at him and she's like, haunted? Yeah, one more thing, right? And nonchalantly, you know, Quincy's like, yeah, okay. You know, spreading out his bedroll.
Without even getting her yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, whatever.
Party.
Poppy says, okay, so it's a little creepy around here, but I wouldn't say it's haunted, right? Rational. And new houses are always a little scary after all. And then she's thinking, compared to our cottage at Moonbright, Tora's house feels like a luxury 5-star hotel. And this brings back the scene, which I loved. Like Poppy's like, okay, I'm going to bed at that time. And then Quincy and Tora are huddled in the corner and there's like little fireflies.
Oh yeah,
like,
Damien.
Oh, Damien, sorry.
Yeah, and the frogs. And
Yeah.
they're just like,
And they're like freaking out about all these bugs.
city boys can't handle it.
That was the best. I really like that. And then so Poppy, trying to be calm and rational, did you actually see anything? Quincy says, no, but the loo kept flushing on its own. And Poppy counters with, the plumbing's faulty then.
She's getting nervous because
Yeah.
Stuttering is starting.
It's just the faulty plumbing, no big deal.
Right. And her facial expression in the previous panel, she's like, so worried.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
She's starting to get the little sweat mark.
Yeah. Okay. And Poppy says, and why'd you come to me? Where's your bodyguard? Right? Like,
yeah. Where's your bodyguard?
Go to the big, handsome, burly man next door and he'll protect you like he's protecting all of us right now. He's kind of the caretaker for everyone right now. Quincy says, oh, forget about him. Can't you hear? And Poppy's like, what are you talking about? And then Quincy says in the next panel, the majestic crescendos and decrescendos.
He's so cute. I love it. It's like
no big deal.
That's a vocabulary.
So then the giant Z's are in the next panel indicating, you know,
Saw
Quincy says,
logs.
yes, saw logs. Quincy says, of that mofo's turbo-powered engine. And Poppy says, okay, I see what you mean. And Quincy says, and if that,
what are those things that Quincy, never mind, I realize what it is. It's his,
he like lays out his toiletry kit, you know?
I didn't notice that.
Like nighttime routine of like moisturizing, which we bring up in the next panel. Quincy says, and if that isn't bad enough, he's hogged the entire mattress. He's determined to be extra annoying tonight, I'm sure, which I don't think is the case. I think Quincy's being extra as usual.
Tora's earned it, but
so how is he hogging a mattress? Because Quincy took a mattress with him, so didn't they have two? Like, did he just take the mattress out from under him, and like now Tora has none?
Yeah.
I think Quincy's just being Quincy.
Yeah. Like,
Or maybe they had him like right next to each other, and Tora was like laid out across both of them. Maybe
Starfish. He was
Yeah.
starfish out.
He just
Yeah.
passed out. Yeah. Quincy says, anyway, want some moisturizer? Let's just gloss over
Anyway,
everything that's happening, and here, do you want some moisturizer?
You're such a girl.
And why is he offering it? Because he says, you're a little flaky over here, and points to like the spot on, on his nose. Flaky's got a little, Poppy's got a little flake on her face. And Poppy says, so are you, which I think is more than talking about skin flakes.
Oh, I love that line. I love it.
And I just love how they made her face so just
Yeah.
deadpan, like
Right. Really, right now. Bust into my room and then offer me moisturizer after freaking me out. You're weird.
your skin's dry. You need to
Yeah.
moisturize.
So
if I was in Poppy's position, I'd be like, Quincy, did you just come in here to put moisturizer on my face?
Same.
Like, did you make up the haunted stuff?
Did you just want to have a slumber party and paint her nails?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
yeah, but
I could see Quincy as the kind of guy who doesn't want to sleep alone. Like, he's lonely and he needs company.
Yeah.
He needs friends.
well, I think he's largely codependent anyway. So somebody acknowledge my existence, please. So Poppy's over it and says, anyway, I'm gonna crash now. I can hardly stay awake any longer. Good night, and don't let the bed bugs bite. So she's laying down, covering up, and Quincy's like, bed bugs? Oh no, what?
Has he never heard that expression before?
I think he's just like oh, bugs.
Oh yeah, I forgot I need to be scared.
There's bugs.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's haunted and there's bugs now.
Mhm.
Oh,
Bed
great.
bugs.
Great.
In my bed that I've got all my moisturizers in.
I have to actually say, you know what? I'm gonna give Quincy credit because I bet he's the kind of guy who was also very like fussy and like likes to have perfect accommodations and probably likes to be in his own bed. So the fact that he was willing to come sleep in this like unfinished house with the hot water maybe just turned on. So I think that shows that he wants to be their first friends despite physical deprivations.
Good point. That's why he has a giant toiletry bag and not just the bare essentials.
Exactly.
You have to bring the whole, the whole regimen. You
Yeah.
can't just.
I can't wait to see what extraness he comes up with the next day after the terrible night of sleep. And
What kind of wardrobe did he bring?
I know, for the next day. Okay. So Poppy's trying to sleep, and then we hear creak, creak, and then slam.
Oh fuck.
So Poppy jolts awake.
What
Her
was
eyes
that?
like boom. And then her famous
Son of a biscuit.
son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit, what was that? Quincy says, you heard the creaking and slamming?
And all the lines, they're like shouting, ah, what was that?
The creaking and the slamming.
Uh,
So Quincy's wigged out and it's like, it's been on the past hour. Where is it coming from?
I feel like he has not been sleeping. I think that's him.
Oh,
saying
yeah.
He hasn't slept for the past hour.
Well, and he's got like the dark bags under his eyes. It looks like
mhm.
he's really scared.
He's all stressed out.
I
But
know.
do you remember being at slumber parties like this and you would like escalate the situation? Like one person would get freaked out and then the next person would like escalate it and then you'd all be like, you're all freaked out.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's happening.
Although Poppy's being the brave one. And she's like, oh, I'll go look. I don't know, maybe she's just annoyed, like, you keep waking me up, you asshole. Now we have some darkness. And then the misty hallway,
Mm.
looking eerie. More mist. Now freaked out Quincy sneaks up behind her. And then, do I keep going?
Or is this what you
Is
were
this-
taking over, Mindy?
Yeah, they're outside now.
Yeah, you can go on. I'll do it when we get to Tora.
Okay.
Okay.
And Quincy's like, look, what is that thing? She says, it's just Miss from the pond. She's looking okay, like collected for the moment.
She would know because she grew up with like a pond right behind her house.
Yeah. So she's used to it being dark and kind of eerie and making sense of it all.
Quiet, hearing all the sounds, country home.
And she's annoyed because she's like, stop crowding me. Go back to sleep, Quincy.
Excuse me.
So her trying to rationalize, even if it's a ghost, there's two of us and just one of.
And by the way, that panel shows like the utter irony, because Quincy is like massively built over here. Like, I think even more than Tora in this particular shot. Like, I mean, I think it's a little exaggerated, but his like bicep is crazy. Forearm, sorry. But he's the one cowering behind like little tiny
little girl, yeah.
Yeah. And then flicker, right? The lights flicker off in the next panel. Now Poppy's looking freaked out and Quincy's about to fall over and have a heart attack. And then the lights come back on and then they're back off. They're looking scared. And then now we're back to Tora sawing logs here, kind of bringing it back. And then, bro, Tora, you know, now they're, Quincy and Poppy are in Tora's room, trying to wake him up. He's audibly still snoring and snorting and choking because they want him to wake up. So Quincy says, "Wake up, big bro." And Tora, "Please wake up." Because they're scared.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. I would be very annoyed if I was Tora. So I have a kid who is like this. much less now, but she used to constantly come up to me in my husband's room like, "I'm scared of this, of that, there's this, there's that." And I sorry to say, I do not relate to this at all. I've never had that like scared of ghosts or creaking sounds or anything. And I'm like, "Go to bed. There is no thief. There is no ghost. There is no animal. There is nothing. Go to sleep. Stop waking me up."
When I was a kid, I had this game called Gator Golf. So it was like a putt-putt game where you would put the golf ball into the alligator's mouth and then it would spin around and it would pop the ball back out. Well, I kept it under my bed. And my mom, I would go, "Mom, oh, there's an alligator under my bed." And she'd go, "You're right, there is. So, look, it's Gator Golf right there." And you know, it was more of a scary alligator in like my mind, but it's just Gator Golf.
That's funny. And here in this panel, we see the mattress that Quincy was referring to. I guess he was trying to share the bed with Tora so he wouldn't have to sleep on the little pad. Yeah.
So maybe he tried to go to Tora's room first and Tora was like, "Get the fuck out of here." So we went to Poppy's room.
Oh yes. My gosh, Quincy.
And I think we'll make several notes of Tora's underwear because they're fabulous.
Yeah, we were just talking about it too. He had like the banana shorts, and then of course in Moonbright he had the checkered ones with the smiley faces, and I thought it was just like extra stuff he had, like it was going to be a one-time thing, but he clearly has many pairs of these colorful undies.
Yeah, I would think that Quincy would have crazy patterns and Tora would have plain ones, but no, Quincy right now is like very plain. I mean, it's orange, granted, but it's just solid. So surprise, the roles are reversed. Well, we don't know if Quincy was the one to buy Tora all his underwear.
That's a
I
good
was just thinking that.
That's a good point. Sounds like something he would do. Like you really need to liven up your underwear.
Big bro.
All right. Do you want me to keep going?
I guess I'll take over from here.
Okay.
So poor guy is like not really awake, and I was like, "Are you sure? He looks like his soul hasn't returned." He's like, "Okay, he's awake now." He's like, "What the fuck?" Like, "Tora, are you awake? Dream? You're not dreaming. Don't fall asleep again." And mind you, from the lady who's like, "I'm never gonna talk to him again," she's like holding his cheeks. Like, if you wouldn't know, you would think it was romantic.
I sense a secret garden.
Right.
The creator of the series, she does on her Patreon page, sometimes there's secret garden posts where she does saucy like NSFW stuff. And sometimes it's canon, so she can't put it on Webtoon, but there might be like an extra scene that's spicy that couldn't be on Webtoon. So yep, you know, maybe, but maybe not.
Plug for Lily's Patreon for sure.
Yep. And Poppy's like, you need to go take a look outside. I think your house is haunted. And Quincy's like, bro, I swear to God, there's nothing ghost outside the room. Oh my God. Extra.
Is he hugging Tora in that panel?
Yes.
Absolutely. Both arms too. You can see his thumb.
Oh my God, he's so dramatic. How did he survive all these years? Oh my gosh. Something else. And Tora's like, what the F? And they go outside and he mumbles, where is it? There's no effing ghost around here. And he's swaying because he's still half asleep. And they're just quivering behind him. And Quincy's like, Quincy or Poppy? I can't tell who says this.
I think it's
sounds more like
Tora.
Poppy. The part that says, oh, maybe we were mistaken.
Oh,
Yeah, sounds more like Poppy would say that. Like, maybe we're mistaken, but I don't know if we can trust him. He can barely stand straight. Like, God, I hope he's right. And Quincy's like, well, I guess we're just being paranoid. Poppy says, yeah, let's go back. It's a little chilly out here.
Yeah, it's because you're not wearing any clothes, Poppy. Jeez.
Right. And now I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but I'll give you my theory and I wonder if you guys agree. Then suddenly Tora finds himself looking at Poppy. It looks like he's looking at Poppy. And he says, oh, and he says, but dump. But the next panel is him looking at like the empty space.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, sees Poppy clutching him and he says Quincy clutching him on the other side. Then there's badump, cree. And then he says, you mean that one? And I couldn't figure out if he was being serious or if he was trying to like hype it up so that Poppy would continue clinging onto him.
Or maybe surprised Tora can see ghosts.
I was gonna say maybe he has a little more of an affinity for that kind of like spiritual realm of he believes in that. And so they're like, oh, maybe there's a ghost. Oh, you mean that one right there?
But we don't see anything. That's the thing. Like I think like I thought that if he actually sees ghosts, like we would actually see something there. But we don't.
Yeah, well, look at Quincy's face. He's like, huh? Like what?
You what? Well, and I know early on that Lily Dusk, the author, said that there was maybe going to be like a supernatural element to Midnight Poppyland. But I don't know if she dropped that or not, but maybe.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know. I wonder if Tora is just like startled awake a little bit because he noticed movement in the cupboard cabinet thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does kind of look like he's looking at Poppy, but maybe he's just like, he just noticed movement over there. And so he got a little like a little nervous about it.
I don't know. He doesn't seem too nervous.
He doesn't have his gun on him, so we don't think, but
a ghost really. But yeah, and all it takes is that, and Quincy and Poppy have just like yeeted themselves inside.
Nope.
And they're like, son of a biscuit, we left him outside. And they're like, yeah. And then she's like, shh, Quincy, stop panicking. Help me pull him in. He's in some kind of trance. Whereas, I don't know, I'm thinking he's just like tired because he's
maybe he thinks he's dreaming still, like where you're that half awake state. I sleepwalk still. They say you're supposed to grow out of it when you get older, but sometimes I still sleepwalk, and I sleep talk all the time. So I'll like pick stuff up. Like one time I went from the bed to the kitchen. I took a Tupperware out of the cabinet, put it on my husband's side of the bed for a science experiment, and then got back into bed. Like that was what allowed me to go back to sleep. Was I have to get this for the science experiment. In the morning he wakes up and goes, what's this Tupperware doing here? I'm like, I feel like I needed it for something. So maybe it's something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and then they grab him and we see Quincy's hand on his shirt and Poppy's hand basically pulling down his boxers.
Okay.
Yep, get a little crack there.
I mean, not mad about it. It's fine.
It's like, oh my gosh, sorry, Tora. And yeah, she's like, oops.
Sorry,
sorry. Her resolution not to talk to him is just like going way downhill.
Right.
It was a lot of very funny moments. And they pull the door and they slam it. And that is the end of that nighttime escapade.
And then we're caught back up to the present time. And that was how all three of us ended up in Tora's bedroom last night. And we can see that it's morning now, it's daylight, and there's a shot of outside, and then a shot of some fruit and a drink. And we see clack, clack. Pardon our intrusion. We didn't know you were there, wherever you came from. And we see that it's Poppy offering the fruit and drink to the cupboard, to whatever spiritual presence is there. This isn't much, or there isn't much to offer you right now, but here's some fruit and beer. Just please don't scare us like that again. And maybe keep us safe while you're at it. And we can see her hands in like a little prayer position. What's that? He tripped while carrying some boxes and threw a tantrum? I know he's a dumbass, but please keep him safe too. He's the owner of this house after all. And she does a little bow.
Oh, to me, that shows a lot about Poppy. Like, she's making fun of Tora by, saying he tripped, and then, saying he's a dumbass, right? Which is expressing her anger, like what she really feels, but she still wants him to be safe.
And what do you think she's responding to? She says, what's that? He tripped and threw a tantrum? Like, did she hear something, or did she, like make something up in her mind and she responded to, like, what could the spirit be angry about?
Maybe just venting a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's more venting. But I realize, like, I have my philosophy in life is like, I just don't believe in ghosts, period. So like in my head, there's like no way that like she's talking to anyone. But like you said, if I was in a fantasy webtoon, I wouldn't think that, right? But like, since 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀 has not really been going along that lines, I'm like, yeah, she's just talking to herself and just expressing her feelings. But who knows? Maybe we will get some more supernatural.
I have 2 cats, and my husband and I will often talk for them and carry on a conversation between ourselves and the cat. So this reminds me of that.
That is good. Yeah.
So we carry on, and it's Poppy's narrating again. She says, fortunately, I managed to creep back to my room without waking the sleeping elephant seals. I mean, men. And we see a picture of a calendar. It's her weekly planner, I guess. And she crosses off Monday 1, and then she scribbles it out. But I guess I'm back to day 0 again.
Oh, well.
Okay, and then this next panel, I was talking to Vanessa about, I'd just like to point out that at the beginning, when they all woke up together, Tora was not wearing a shirt.
Right.
And now she's flashing back to being in bed together. And it looks like she's trying to talk to him or something, and his shirt is on. So where did the shirt go is what I want to know. This is a Die Hard situation. Oh, the shirt changed color.
I guess that's the magic in that popular.
No, that's what the ghost made his shirt disappear. I like good job, Ghost. Thanks, Ghost.
Same thing happened in the lake, right? Remember his turtleneck magically fell off or something?
Oh yeah.
He lost it. Yeah.
Yeah, where'd my shirt go?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I fell over. Yeah. Oh, Dawn, I fell over.
Really
yeah.
blushing when she thinks of that.
Oh, wait, oh, okay, so yeah, when she first wakes up, she doesn't have the shirt on. Sometimes I'll take clothes off in my sleep. I'll have like my pajamas on when I go to bed, and then in the morning they're like on the side of the bed, and I have no recollection of taking it off. I guess
too hot.
Yeah, especially with Quincy cuddling him.
Yeah, true.
Right. I think something happened there that we're going to find out later, because she's sighing and blushing then in that next panel. And you're like, tell me what went down. I want to know.
I think it's just a mistake.
Yeah.
I think she was just blushing because she was sleeping with him, basically. And Quincy.
And grabbed his boxers, pulled him down a little bit. Yeah. Okay, and then she's contemplating, and then she like kind of resets herself a little bit and says, first things first, need to unpack my clothes. And it seems like in the background, breaking news today, the TV is on. 2 more video footages have been released, leading to the shocking arrest of one of Nairn City's most well-respected mayor. Does Nairn City have more than one mayor? Or are they just saying that this mayor has been the most well-respected in the history of mayors?
I think that I'm going to go with the second one, Laura, the history of mayors.
As I was saying that out loud, that made more sense. But when I first read it, I was like, why is there more than one mayor? Okay.
Full discrepancy there myself.
And like when you said it out loud, I mean, I was like, oh, I guess I didn't think of it like that. Yeah, cool. All right.
So Poppy's paying attention to the TV. Several of the most influential clan leaders of the city have agreed to hold a press conference to address the situation. So, what? Like, what?
I think maybe clan leaders, I think when they say that, they don't mean mafia clan leaders. I think they mean like respectable clan leaders. Like, okay, maybe in that world, a clan is not necessarily like a mafia clan. Happens to be mafia, like we know it's mafia on the side. But like, I think maybe it's just like a political institution in the city.
Oh, okay.
But who else was at that? And we'll have to, let me get to it. But I mean, Vincent's there, obviously. Is there anyone else we recognize there? I mean, I guess we don't really know any other clan leaders at this point, but.
Right. Okay, so I guess they would go, like the news would go to the clan leaders, like they would have a press conference probably because they like have political ties to the mayor and other politicians and stuff. Like maybe they're financially backing some people, and so maybe that's like, why would they go to the clan leaders? Like,
I think the clan leaders are part of like the political structure in Nairn.
Ah, okay.
So I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
That's fucked up. Okay.
So then we see Poppy recognizes it's Tora's boss, and the coloring in the panel changes. She gets like scared. And as we go on, it is Quincy's dad. And we wish only to serve and protect the people of Nairn. So please continue placing your faith in us as you, and then she turns the TV off. I know. I know.
So
Gag.
politician. This is like politician speak. It's so gross. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's pretty gross.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. And so she's sitting there in silence. Sorry, what?
He's a dapper dresser. You know where Quincy gets it from?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I was totally like, you said a dapper dresser. I'm like, she's a dresser in her room? Where?
Yeah, Mr.
Vincent. Yeah. So Poppy's just sitting in silence, kind of taking it in, processing it. And now it's just black with white text, and it's nothing but focusing on her thoughts. Ghosts might be scary, but the heart of man seems to be far more terrifying.
It's a very profound one.
Yeah. A little transition, clap, 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 and we see Vincent. He was looking very pleased with himself. Someone is saying, round of applause for an incredible speech by the one and only Vincent Botherman. Clap, 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 clap. Where it looks like we're in a boardroom, people clapping, smiling.
He's a narcissist.
Yep. Oh, is this? Oh, I get them mixed up. Is this Shark that we see in the next?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Shark. And some random person behind him. It looks like a whiteboard. But Vincent in the next panel is frowning. Any questions from the floor? Is this still a press conference maybe?
Yeah, I'm wondering why he's frowning. Do you think it's related to Shark, like leaving the room? Or
I think Shark's in the background there, actually. I can
but
see
in the next one,
poses.
Or is he just kind of like fed up
Dropping
with the
the
whole
facade.
yeah, just kind of fed
Yeah.
up with the whole thing, like, oh clap, yay. Anyway, it's stupid.
I've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
Tora?
Like I don't
Maybe,
want to be here right now. I want to be on my yacht.
My yacht, sipping mimosa.
Using champagne.
So maybe or maybe that's a signal from Vincent to Scharch to leave. Because it seems like it's implying, I think, that they're making eye contact, and then
I don't know, because Scharch is behind him, so I don't see it as.
oh, you're right. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so we continue on, and we see that Scharch is in the hallway. He's out of the press conference room. He's on the phone. He says, "You got the money?" Or no, someone on the phone says, "You got the money," and then Scharch responds, "From the first couple videos, you bet. Received it this morning in my crypto account." Of course, he has a crypto account. You're on a roll, my man. Although I guess crypto is a way to like smuggle money without having it being traced. Okay, so that makes sense. Oh no, next panel. Oh my gosh, good. Who is it? Ew. With his little creepy
the stubble.
his stubble.
Also,
Like,
can I give credit? I forgot who it was, but I know we mentioned it on the podcast. There were people who theorized that Scharch and Gil are brothers because they have the same coloring. And I can't remember who it was, but credit to them.
Oh.
Well, and I wonder if Vincent knows, like if he's having Scharch like bait Gil into giving the information, because Vincent was the one that wanted the notebook to begin with. I bet there's incriminating evidence towards the 𝗏𝗏𝗡 clan in the notebook. So I wonder if Scharch had instructions to, oh yeah, let him leak stuff about people we don't care about so that we can reel him in, and then, you know, find his ass and get the notebook and kill him. And I don't know.
I think he's working on his own. I think Scharch is an ambitious guy. Like he's owned that pawn shop or whatever. And I think he's just doing it on his own. I think Vincent, if Vincent had the notebook, we would have not seen him panic a few days ago about it. And I think that he's just, you know, trying to get more money or power for himself. I think it's just his own thing.
He's doing that
makes
hustle.
sense. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying he's doing that side hustle.
Yeah, I wonder if he's trying to move up in the clan, use it as a way to like move up and be, just move up in the clan. And I have to point out, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but like all the fishing analogies you were using to describe Gil, the fish.
Yep.
Scharch was reeling in, it was using this bait.
Well, thank you. It was unintentional, but
I think a person who made that connection between Scharch and Gil being brothers also said that. And they're both fishy.
Oh,
they are both fishy.
And they're fishy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. People are so smart. Wow.
I like listening to the podcast because you get all these little crumbs that you're like, oh,
Yep, exactly.
So we get further evidence of how fishy Gil is. He's sharing, or he's looking at employee records of Poppy and Jacob, and we assume Erdine is on that list also. And it has like, you know, their personal contact information. Oh my gosh, how scary. Addresses and stuff. And click, click. Time for us to create a nice little diversion away from ourselves as he's talking to Scharch. And that is the end of the episode.
that was such a good episode.
Hate Gil. Hate Gil, but that's pretty clever of him.
I want to know more about his wife that he just murdered and left.
And she's starting to stink.
Oh,
And wasn't she pregnant too?
That's
The implication.
because the little dinosaur.
That was it.
She's talking to the baby. Like, oh, your dad. I made this for you.
Oh boy, that's fucked up.
I think Gil's like a psychopath. He doesn't seem to show any emotions at all.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
He doesn't seem to be thinking about that at all. Sorry to interrupt. He doesn't seem to be thinking about that at all. He's just trying to he's just moving on. It's just another part of his day. He's just moving on to the next thing.
Well, we're at an interesting point with him because, you know, he's been outed. Like everyone figured out that they don't have jobs and that he was putting on this business front, like falsifying account records and all of these things. So he's on the run. He's hiding, you know, so he's also probably, his game is to like somehow get back ahead because lots of different people are looking for him
Right.
for different reasons.
He knows Tora is looking for him. Maybe not that it's specifically Tora, but he knows people have been following him. And when you get backed into a corner like that and you're a psycho, you know, it's
When you feel like you have nothing to lose. There's nothing more dangerous than a person who's got nothing left to lose.
It's a great setup for a lot of drama. I think it's fantastic. Like he'll probably incriminate maybe Jacob, I think Poppy first, just for drama purposes. And I think that that'll, you know, force Tora to step up to the plate. I think that also maybe Poppy's mafia element might come out. Like her grandma maybe will step in to protect her, or like whoever her mafia ancestry is will be like, okay, we got to protect our girl, which would be very curious because we're all like, what is with Poppy's grandma and the mafia, you know? So I think that it gives a chance for the story to like show us that side.
Or as a catalyst for some of the clans to kind of work together for a common goal, you know, because now there's all this stuff coming out about all the clans. So this notebook it's all the clans, right? It's not just one.
I think so. Like Goliath was collecting dirt on whoever he could.
Ooh, remember Lane just saw them? Maybe Lane will be crucial in helping protect Poppy.
Was that Detective Lane? She was sitting at the as they were driving into town. There was a lady sitting at the
She's like, did I just see what I thought I saw, or something like that?
We haven't seen her since like episode like 10 or something. So I was like, is that her? Because, you know, I've noticed too that, of course, after Lily has been drawing it for so long, certain characters like kind of look a little bit different than they did at the start. Like when Jewelry came back, I thought he looked rather different than when we first saw him. So I wasn't sure if it was Detective Lane or not, but okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got it.
Detective Lane season 2.
Yes, 2.0.
Do you think Gil knows anything or suspects anything about Poppy's connection to any mafia? Because he was always like really like, what's the word, agitated towards her, I guess, or he like was so suspicious of her, or is it just because she was drawing too much attention to the company?
I wonder if he intended to set her up as the fall guy, like from the start.
Yeah.
And that's why he hired her when no one else would, because he's like, oh, perfect, you know, she won't suspect anything.
Yeah, I think he saw a naive girl that he thought he could take advantage of. I think that people like him, bullies, look for prey that they think they can abuse. And I think that that's what he wanted out of her.
And really, if she hadn't have met Tora and gotten into all that, it might have worked. Like she really might have gotten in really big trouble. So,
and maybe her landing that account with Quincy like thwarted those plans, you know what I mean? That was like a blindside for Gil. He wasn't expecting that.
I think he did mention that in one of the episodes, like, why did she have to get them involved? And, you know, she wasn't supposed to succeed. And I think he underestimated her and her determination a little bit. So maybe he will be still underestimating her.
Yeah. She's underestimating herself, but she's got some growing to do.
Yeah, so any final thoughts on the episode before we do the bonus content?
Is it Friday yet?
Yeah, right.
All right.
Thank you to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Leprous, Lily, Jenny, Molly, Veronica, Emily, 𝗏𝗏, Saucy Toggles, Meg, Anne Rose, Priya, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Patty, Milda, Esther, I'm Watching People, Taurus, 𝗵𝗶𝗆, Marie, Emily, Jean, Jen, Erin, Kay, Lily, Beckett, Duranda, Christine, Sadie, Kelly, Daniel, Teresa, Mrs. Castaldo, Kaylee, and Jen. Your support is truly appreciated.